My name is Dobbs, James Dobbs. I'm a private eye. I carry a badge. And this is the city, Twin Bayous, Louisiana. More on that later, but first, some of you are probably wondering what I'm doing back here in Twin Bayous. And I'm sure all of you are wondering where Jamie is. Jamie is back in France. I left her there, but don't worry, she's okay. Also, if you're wondering about the end of episode 26, where no one left France and the Dutrineau household became the active family, that was all a dream sequence. Here's what really happened. It all started with the nectar. We both had way too much to drink. When I drink, I get neurotic. When I get neurotic, I freak out, and that night I started freaking out about leaving Pangu's axe back in Twin Bayous, and how I was not going to be able to finish the trials and quests imposed on me by the ghost of Morgan Le Fay. Then I noticed that Jamie didn't seem to be the least bit concerned about it. That is when she broke down and confessed that the whole thing was an elaborate ruse. She told me that the grimoire wasn't actually missing. She told me that she had given the magical book to the ghost of Greg Gentile in exchange for a dusty old lamp. Then once she became a real girl again, she needed me to help her get out of town. She and the genie made the whole curse of Morgan Le Fay bit up so that I would have to leave town with her. She didn't want to stay in Twin Bayous. Too much had changed in the nearly 40 years since she had been murdered. She said that the whole thing had been planned. Everything, that is, she said, except for the fact that she had fallen for me in a big way. I told her that the feeling was mutual, but that didn't mean that I forgave her for making a chump out of me. She explained that getting me out of Twin Bayous was for my own good. After all, I had broken into someone's house and stolen their stuff, including the houseboat. She was right. I was a fugitive. I was wanted by the law. But I told her that I was going to go back to Twin Bayous anyway, that I had a score to settle. The only problem is that I could not remember much of anything that happened before I went crazy. I, of course, remember coming into town from Angel City, and I remember meeting the sheriff and his daughter, but then the rest is all a blur, and I only vaguely remember going into the Dutrineau's house and stealing the grimoire, the urn, and all that other stuff. I told her that she would be happier in France. I told her that last night we said a great many things. I told her that she said I was to do the thinking for the both of us. Well, I had done a lot of thinking since then, and it all added up to one thing. I was going to get on that boat, and I was going to go back to Twin Bayous. And that's when she started to cry. But I told her, now, you've got to listen to me. Does she have any idea what she had to look for if she left here? 9 chances out of 10, we'd both wind up in jail. I told her that I was saying it because it was true. Inside both of us, we knew she belonged here in France, and if that boat left the port and she was on it, she would regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of her life. She asked, well, what about us? And I said, we'll always have China. What we didn't have, we lost it until we came to France, and we got it back last night. But I've got a job to do, and where I'm going, you can't follow. What I've got to do, you can't be a part of. Jamie, I'm no good at being noble, but it doesn't take much to see that the problems of 2 little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world. Someday you'll understand that. And then I got on the boat and I sailed back to Twin Bayous. So here I am now. I'm writing Jamie an email to tell her that I arrived safe. I'm also telling her that I'm sorry that I sailed off with her suitcase and all her clothing and stuff. I'm telling her that since I gave her all that money, she should be able to buy some nice things. I'm also telling her that I took her laptop. I don't know how she's going to be able to read this email. Maybe I should try calling her and seeing what she's doing.